The property has been surveyed by Pittman and Associates. There's some strange stuff with the surveying down in the city down in that area, but that should be finalized if it's not already finalized. So that's another priority for us. Academic programs, as we've done a lot over the last few years, but over 10 years in new academic programs, we're looking at planning and implementation of quite a few new programs of study. We're hopeful to have to you soon the Bachelor's in Public Safety proposal, which will tie in all our public safety courses and degrees and EMS, fire science, criminal justice, all them into a baccalaureate degree for people that want to earn a baccalaureate degree, and we'll be one of the few schools that have that. Another program we really want to do, and it's a trickle down from our HVAC and our welding expansion that we had money for and we're doing from the state. We want to do an electrician's program as part of that new building or part of it on campus. It hasn't been decided. A massage therapy program. We're pretty much in depth with that program right now. Building construction and radiography, which would be the real program of study for the downtown campus. That being said, about Lakeshore Hospital, I do know that over the next few weeks there'll be some finalization whether Meridian goes into the huge hospital or not. And if they do not, I anticipate them looking towards us, and I'll be communicating with you if we think as a team we want to pursue that or not. So I just wanted to let you know that if that deal falls through with Meridian, which is probably, in my point, probably 50-50 right now, after hearing from everybody on both sides. So, and then some other completed projects. We had a big delay, I will tell you, with our STEM 2 building. We ground broke in January, and we only started going at it again last week. We had a lot of problems with building permits, state permitting from the state. Not because of our things, I don't believe it was on our end. I do believe it was just a matter of backlogs at the state issue, and I was told there was about 13 or 14 schools that were in front of us in those things. So there were staffing issues that the inspectors had to do it. And there was some minor things, 2 doors, and when we sent it back, they didn't get it, and it was back and forth. So I was concerned that I still think we'll be done by December with that project, because that's a pretty simple building to construct, and they keep on saying it's 6 months. So they're out there working, pouring footings right now. So I think we'll be okay on that. Additional land acquisition, we're still trying, thanks to Ms. Logan and so forth, we're still trying to pursue the land swap between the city and the thing. That's been ongoing for about 47 years. But 3 years under, between the city saying they were going to agree to it in writing until now. So, and then the big issue is we have some indications from Florida Power and Light that they may donate some property along 100 to us, a 15-acre property that will border their electric solar plant that they're doing for about 30-40 acres at least, and then expanding out. So that will give us some buffer. If we ever want to do anything with it, we could do something with it too. So that's exciting. And then the other thing is we've talked about Gilchrist in the past, Dixie County in the past. They're great counties for us. They're good people, good students, because of our length of community. And I know Ms. Mims' staff does a great job, and our people do a great job. But we're getting more and more feedback from the rural counties that they really need somebody to guide them, act as navigators, try to handle during that summer melt. Many students get thousands and thousands of dollars of scholarship from the Dixie County Foundation, and they never come. They never use. So we're really going to try to, in this budget, put a coordinator of rural county outreach and engagement under Mr. Cardenas' leadership in that area. And that's in this year's budget. So we want to try to get that hired by July 1st. So, and that's my report. I want to turn it over to Ms. Holloway. So really, that's kind of my overarching guide that I'm trying to do for, we always have presidential priorities in our strategic plan, which we will be presenting to you probably in June. It's almost done. We didn't get enough stakeholders outside of the community, outside the internal community. So with that, investing in our students, our talent, and facilities. Ms. Holloway.
Thank you. Good afternoon. As you know, the budget is not concluded yet with the state, so we don't have any concrete numbers to share with you. We do have some proposals to share with you. So we'll continue with that. Okay. Again, our priorities, as Dr. Barrett said, priority 1 is investing in our students. Always the students come first. They're, of course, the reason we're here. And then priority 2 is investing in our campus. And priority 3 is investing in our talent. So we take care of the campus and the talent, and that takes care of the students, basically. Okay. So how are we investing with our students? So these are some of the highlights that have already happened or in the process of finishing up this year. The HVAC program is moving to the newly designed facility behind the automotive program now. So that's going to free up the whole building, 19, for the welding students to take over. And we're going to expand the welding program with some grant funds that we have. There's going to be some new equipment there, and it's going to increase the capacity for teaching and students in the welding program. We're also revitalizing our greenhouse for educational purposes with grant funds as well. We've purchased 4 new training vehicles that are in Old Lusty right now. They're set up very similar to actual law enforcement vehicles, so they can get the feel of a law enforcement vehicle before they actually take on the role of a law enforcement officer. And that was with grant funds as well. Chris Brady did a great job requesting those grants, and we were able to secure them and spend the money. That's my favorite part. So we're also in the process, as Dr. Barrett said, of building the new STEM building. It's going to allow for better nursing simulation experience so we can continue to produce quality nursing students and put them in our community, put them into work. So we will continue to create, enhance, and grow programs that are imperative to our community. Okay. Investing in our campus. So how did we do that this year? We had appearance investments. The gym floor in the Howard Center, you couldn't see it at graduation because it's all covered up, but we just completed a complete renovation of that floor, took it down to the very bottom and built it back up. It was quite an endeavor, and it almost didn't get done in time, but it was done. It looks great. You'll get to see it soon, hopefully. So we're also building or buying new carpet tiles to go over it, so when we have these events that it'll look a little more professional than the current mats that we have now, and it'll all come together and secure the floor and make sure we protect our investment that we have in that floor. And the safety investments, the life safety coordinator, he's completed the oversight and installation of highly technical cameras that enhance our security. The exterior door access quality control upgrades allow for the exterior doors to be linked to our campus's new security system software, where if someone's at a door, we can actually log in and see who's at that door if we have that, the ones that have that capability, if there's a question. So that's going to enhance our security as well. And we also have implemented updating our AED units. You may have seen them on the walls and right across the hall here. And the emergency first aid kits and eye wash station to further enhance our safety procedures. Okay. Investing in our talent. We are proposing the following: a 3% raise for all faculty and staff. So the Consumer Price Index from February of 2024 to February of 2025 rose 3.1%. So we feel the 3% is necessary to move forward with helping the employees, faculty and staff take care of their families with the rising prices in the economy now. We've increased starting salaries for the first 3 pay grades for full-time staff. We propose an increase of nursing hourly rates by 12% and an increase in hourly and overload rates per credit hour courses by 5%. And Ms. Buckles will speak more in depth on that, so I will turn it over to Ms. Buckles now.
Thank you.
Roll donkey.
What happened? It's World Donkey Day. There we go.
Thank you, Michelle. Tell me how you really feel. So in addition to increasing or proposing a 3% raise for all faculty and staff, we would like to increase the starting salaries of the first 3 pay grades for our full-time faculty and staff, increase nursing hourly rates by 12%, and increase adjunct and overload rates per credit hour courses by 5%. The first pay grade we would like to upgrade is pay grade 202. This would increase 50 cents per hour, bringing the starting salary from $31,200 to $32,240. Some of the positions in this pay grade are listed above on the slide, and currently this would benefit about 17 of our employees, giving them each a 5 to 7% increase on their salary. The next pay grade would be 203. The starting salary would be increased to $35,000. This would be an increase of $1.33 per hour for these employees. We currently have 28 employees in this pay grade that would benefit, and they would also receive a 5 to 7% increase on their current salary. Lastly, pay grade 204. This would be a 48-cent increase per hour, bringing the starting salary to $36,000. There are currently 7 employees in this pay grade that would benefit, and just like the others, they would receive a 5 to 7% increase on their current salary. Next, we are proposing to increase nursing hourly rates by 12%. The last time this was done was in 2017. Each semester, we have approximately 30 nurses on hourly contracts. And if you compare us to our surrounding schools, this would put us in the same range as Santa Fe and significantly higher than North Florida. Their rate for a doctorate is $42 per hour. Lastly, we would propose to increase adjunct and overload rates by 5%. There's a lot of information. It's hard to read on that chart, but the current rates vary depending on credit hour, enrollment, whether it's STEM, non-STEM, the level, and the delivery of the course. These are our current rates, and the last time they were increased was 2023, when we added $83 per credit hour for face-to-face classes. These would be the new rates with the 5% increase. If you took a 3 credit hour course with 20 students, an instructor getting the 5% increase would see anywhere from $95 to $160 per course, depending on the delivery of the course.
So, Cassie, you just explain to them, I think, because we do it kind of unusually, most campuses, most colleges in the nation pay an adjunct fee rate regardless of enrollment, and we do it by enrollment numbers in
Correct.
each class.
It's based on enrollment, so it can vary. And then, theirs is normally just 3 credit hours. It's a flat fee. It doesn't matter how many students are in the class. Any other questions?
And could you explain this 5 to 8% increase? Does that include the 3%, or is that?
It does.
Just to
They'll
clarify.
get at minimum a 5% increase for increasing the pay grade. And then as long as they're eligible, they'll also get the 3% on top of that. If they're not eligible, they would have started late January of this year, so they wouldn't be eligible for the 3%, so they would only get the 5, otherwise they would get the 7. Yes, ma'am.
What is the average teacher pay per course on this campus?
The average teacher
Teacher
pay per course.
on this, per class that they teach?
You wanna
For
do-
an adjunct?
I would do 20 students, just.
Right,
See
so,
that on the graph.
I can't tell what the
Yeah,
pay
I know, I'm
is. I
sorry.
can't see what the pay is on.
So if you want to
So
enlarge it.
for 3 credit hours in an associate level class that is online or hybrid, it's $1,986. If you take the same course and it is bachelor level face-to-face, it's $3,128.
Okay,
Yes, ma'am.
so there's a significant difference between a
Yes, ma'am.
associate level class and a bachelor level class.
Yes, ma'am. And the face-to-face classes are paid the highest because we encourage, in-person teaching.
And so the question I would imagine what you would ask is, and I think last time we looked, and please correct me if I'm wrong, average salary for our faculty members is right now, according to iPads and stuff, about $57,500. So, but we have some 100,000, some at 48,000, so.
Yeah, it just depending on how many courses they're teaching, right?
Well, no, the
And
base,
their
and experience and what if it's STEM related or not STEM. These are strictly adjuncts, and I would also state that, I think when you look at it, our adjunct rate, we teach about 70% of our courses by our full-time faculty, but part of that 70%, which is much higher than other schools, down south, they're about 30% full-time, 70% adjunct. The difference is many of our faculty take the overloads. So that's,
Right.
so that's how they make some money. So I mean, so the base rate that I just gave you of 56 or 57,000 is just the base, and then from there, they get their monies from there.
Okay, thank you. I'm going to turn it back over to Michelle.
Here comes Stu.
See?
So one thing I did not mention is the cost. So the proposal that we're doing for the salaries, if we were to increase these levels like we're requesting and do the 3% across the board raise, we're looking at an increase in the budget of approximately $490,000 from 24-25 to 25-26. Do you have any questions for me?
And so when you look at it, and I'm not the legislative liaison, Mr. Pinchuk, no, I'm kidding, but I'll throw you under the bus.
Who is he? I never seen him.
If you look at the last, and I'll just, was the House side was 48,000 that at the end of the day we were going to see, and on the Senate side we would 2.3 million. So I would say, I'm not the expert in this, we would hope to be somewhere in the middle of that number between the two of them. So I do think even if we had a pretty bad budget year because of our budget, I think we can handle those things. That's what
We could absorb that.
I'm very comfortable with that raise, with that situation. So.
Thank you.
Any other questions? That's our budget proposal. Please feel free to ask. We have the experts in the room, so, except for Casey. Any questions?
Board calendar's next for you.
Okay, yep, board calendar, okay. We'll move board calendar in your packets. Thank you, Ms. Logan, keep me on track. Board, these are the ones for next year, starting in August. Remember, we'll have a June one that we're hopeful that we'll have a formal number from the state, have a budget approved by then. If not, Ms., you want to talk about briefly what happens?
So what happens if the budget is not approved by the state before our July 1 start year? We run the budget as if it was 24-25's numbers.
And that's what statute says. So, okay. So, sorry about that, so this is for, not June, this is for the, starting in August. Remember, July, we have the month off. So, if anybody has, we will vote on this at the June meeting, or can we, June meeting. So, take a look at this, it's the same schedule as usual, second Thursday of every month. We are gonna try to do one in Union. Wasn't sure about Baker, but we'll leave that up to you, so you have 2 months to review that. Board reorganization in your packet. This was last year's board reorganization, how we do it. Do you have that in your, nope, I guess this is only mine. Nobody else has that? So, Ms. Logan, do we review this, and in June, we do the nominations,
We
or?
actually do it in August.
Okay, so we don't have to do it in
After
June?
we start the new year.
Okay. So this is just for my sake to remind everyone what's everybody on there, so. And then, board comments and additions to this workshop. If you would like to see something for our June meeting about the budget, more in depth. If you want to see more of that blown up, we'll gladly blow that up. It really is a difference between the number of students. If you have a low end of students, you're paying a lot less money in your classes, and if you have 24 is the base, and then when you go over 24, if the faculty are willing to take over 24 in their class, they actually get compensated even more for that, and that's in their adjunct classes. Kind of a unique thing that Dr. Hall did back in the mid-2000s, and we've stayed with it. We just tweaked with the numbers of that, so it's a really good process. I think it's a good process. Mr. Chair, that's all I have.
Is that everything on the agenda?
Yep. Hey, that was quick.
That was quick. Okay. Well, then we will adjourn the workshop and we'll reconvene in 7 minutes for our regular meeting.
Kathy, that was good. That slide you had up there.